Hi, I'm HondaPro Jason. Welcome to the HondaPro Show. Watched by over 3 million people. Unbelievable, 3 million people. This week, I have an unbelievably cool show. I have some huge surprises, I have some really big rumors, and I have some news that you're really going to want to hear. So stay tuned and let's get into it. I'm going to start this show off with a huge announcement. If you guys follow me on Facebook or Twitter, you'll know that I just received a huge box from the Netherlands. Inside this box were some keychains, a bunch of really cool stickers from Jap Life, an air freshener that's made my office and the whole dealership smell like bubblegum, and this t-shirt. Now, as you guys can see, the t-shirt says Jap Life on the side. It was sent to me by my friend Benny, and it says Honda. But what's really interesting, it's what's on the back. And the back of the shirt, for those of you that don't read Dutch, it says, Netherlands, I'm coming, which means I'm coming to the Netherlands. So Honda fans, get ready. I plan on being there the first quarter of 2015, and there's going to be more updates and more information about this epic trip coming up very soon. How's that for a first story? Pretty crazy. What you guys don't know is I actually had to lower the mic volume 3 times because I got too excited every time. Well, now into more exciting news, and this is rumor news. According to Car Buzz, Honda is bringing back the S2000. I know, we've heard these rumors before. This time they're saying they're going to use the new Type R engine. That's a 2.0 VTEC turbo. It's going to be a hybrid, still not a convertible, still a 2-seater. Here's the catch. It's going to be built in Ohio next to the new NSX. Let's talk about the new Civic. New Civic, didn't we just have a new Civic? Yeah, but allaboutHonda.com claims that in 2016, the US will get a new Civic. By new Civic, they're talking about a hatchback version, and they're also rumored to say that the SI is going to be produced in the United States. Now, right now, the SIs are produced in Canada. So why would they move the SI to the United States? My thoughts are so they can be closer to be putting that Type R engine in. So will we get an SI-R? Will we get a Type R? Will we get a hatchback just like Europe has with this VTEC turbo? We'll find out very soon. Next year, America is going to get a refreshed Honda CRV. In 2015, the CRV is going to have an Earth Dreams engine, mated to a CVT transmission, some new colors, new technology, but what we just found out is there'll be a touring edition. Now, I'm interested in what cool tech features that's going to have. As most of you know, I do a lot of research on Honda. I'm researching Honda from the time I wake up to the time I go to sleep, and sometimes in my sleep. Well, a few months back, I found out about this new book called Driving Honda, written by Jeffrey Rothfeder. And it looked interesting because it was an inside look to how Honda does things and their core principles. So in my research, I contacted the author, I talked to him a few times, and I actually was able to get a pre-issued book, which I talked about here before. I got to read the book. It was awesome. Not only was it awesome, I contacted his publisher, and I was able to get a 1-hour interview on the phone with Jeffrey. It was amazing. It wasn't really an interview, though. It was more of a discussion, a conversation. We just sat and talked about Honda. We talked about what they do on the assembly lines. We talked about how they research and develop cars. It was really insightful, even for me. I really loved it. I would ask everyone to go get the book. It's on sale now. You guys can get the hardcover version. And for those of you that don't do a lot of reading, or those of you that don't have time to read, there's also an audiobook coming out. And according to Jeff, the guy has a little bit of a southern draw, so it works out really good with the Lincoln, Alabama plant that he talks about. So this is awesome. This is really, really exciting stuff. What I did was I actually recorded the entire conversation. I'm going to have excerpts of this whole book, I'm going to have excerpts of the whole conversation at the end of the show. So make sure you guys tune in. And don't forget, pick up the book. You guys can find it on Amazon or wherever books are sold. It's fun fact time. In 1976, Honda started producing motorcycles in Brazil. And now they've just produced their 20 millionth motorcycle in that country. And that's your fun fact of the week. So now we've come to the end of the show. And last week I asked you guys what you guys think of the green screen. It seems everyone really likes it, which is awesome because I really enjoy doing it. The question now is, do you guys like me on this side of the green screen? Would you rather me back in the middle or on the other side? Tell me where you want me to stand. Tell me what looks best on camera, and leave your comments in the comments below. And now for the giveaway. I was able to obtain 6 copies of Driving Honda that's autographed by the author Jeff, which is just awesome. And I'm going to give you guys the opportunity to win one of these 6 copies. Now, since everything's about connections and social media, and as you guys know, I'm huge into social media, Driving Honda now has a Facebook page. So all you guys have to do to enter to win one of these 6 autographed copies of the book is go to Driving Honda's Facebook fan page and like the page. Doesn't get much easier than that. I'll get with Jeff, and I'm going to pick 6 winners from anyone that liked the page, and I'll be mailing out these 6 books sometime next week. As always, I'm the Honda Pro, and now you're in the know.
Hello?
Hi, Jeff.
Yeah.
Hey, this is HondaPro Jason calling you from Chicago.
Yeah, hey, how you doing?
I'm doing really good. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Good.
Thanks for all the promotional help.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I mean, thanks for writing the book. The book is just, it's outstanding. I mean, it really,
Thank you.
It digs into pretty much everything that every enthusiast thought, but just never knew for sure.
Right, thank you. Well, Honda, I mean, the good thing, they made it easy to write the book, which isn't often the case, you know, because they, as you know, they're kind of a private company. They kind of keep their own counsel, but it just seemed to them to be the right time when I approached them to kind of open up the doors. I think because Toyota was getting, you know, so much play, and then Toyota had its problems, so I think Honda saw that as a good opportunity at this point.
Reading all the stories, that's really what caught me a lot about the book is reading the stories, you know, about the engineers that are hanging out in car parking lots watching people load and unload cars. Mm-hmm. You know, stuff like that is just like, you can't help but smile.
Right. Well, yeah, it's true. I mean, what's so interesting about Honda is its kind of unorthodox approach to not only to manufacturing, but to corporate culture, you know, and so, you know, that whole notion of being there, being on the ground, where you're going to make the cars, knowing what people want, knowing why they want it, so they, you know, hanging out in parking lots to see how they're using their pickup trucks, if you're going to make a ridge line, for example, and they do that, you know, with everything that they do. They do that inside the factories, and in terms of, you know, all the workers are expected to, quote, be there in terms of the job they're doing, and knowing if something needs, you know, isn't fitting quite right, to stop the assembly line, do something about it, come up with a solution. You know, all of those things are so unorthodox among manufacturers. You know, journalists tend to be cynical, and we have to be skeptical.
Of course.
So I've spent a lot of time with Honda people over the last few years, and you know, the cynic in me, you know, seeing them all in the same white coats, white outfits, and you know, all sort of walking in lockstep to a certain degree and all that, especially spending time at the Lincoln, Alabama plant. You know, the cynic in me would say, this is too good to be true, because you interview these people and they just say how much they love the company and how they never expected to have a job like that, you know, at a company that they could really love and treats them so well, you know. And so I really did believe it is too good to be true. There's got to be people, you know, that are just going to finally tell me the truth. But, you know, I became convinced, because I interviewed hundreds of people and spent hundreds of hours with these guys and women, and it's amazing how true it is that Honda really does treat its workers well. It lives up to its code of the importance of individuality, the importance of individual development, both as a worker and development for the company's success. And so most of their workers are actually happy, and they don't have high turnover, for example. And so, they are unique because they're able to actually pull off what they want, what their culture tells them to do. And of course, as you well know, all of that began with the founder, Soichiro Honda, who himself was an incredible individualist and demanded that of everybody who worked for the company from the beginning. And if you build that culture and you don't deviate from it, you can be really successful.
That makes sense. I want to talk a minute about the Ridgeline. You speak about how intuitive the Ridgeline was and how it changed everything with the frame Honda used and the in-bed trunk and how it won truck of the year Motor Trend. Even though other people and a lot of my customers come up to me and they go, "Oh, there's a Ridgeline. That's the truck that failed for Honda." It really wasn't a failure. And what are your thoughts on that? And what are your thoughts for 2016 when they re-release it? What do you think they're going to do?
Well, I think that first of all, you're right. Ridgeline wasn't a failure, but I think it because Ridgeline, by the way, as most people don't know, made money every year and was actually a relatively profitable vehicle. And again, one reason Honda can do that is they can make the number of Ridgelines that they need to sell, even if it's a lower number, because of their flexible factories. And so that's a real advantage for them. And most other companies, as I point out in the book, would have dropped the Ridgeline years ago because they don't have the flexible factories to be able to just make the number they need. They would end up making overcapacity on them and have to lower the price and just wouldn't make money on them. So Honda did fine with the Ridgeline, and it also fits in, to Honda's motif of they don't have to be number one to succeed, and so they created a unique pickup truck, essentially, sort of a mixed pickup truck and car in a sense, by watching what people needed and by building a frame, for example, that was not totally pickup truck-like, so that you couldn't drive it for casual driving and so on. And so I don't expect, and I've spoken to a lot of people at Honda, and they're not giving away too many secrets on what the new Ridgeline is going to be like, but I don't expect many drastic changes from what they've been making in terms of making the kind of the hybrid car, the hybrid meaning pickup and car that they were making. What I do think is going to happen, frankly, is I think they're going to move a little bit more towards sort of the car quality of it. I think because I don't think they want to compete in the pickup truck arena.
I don't think they should.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think they should either. And so I think they're going to really go for the get better gas mileage, first of all, because that was a criticism of it.
Yes.
And they could do better on that, and also sort of the the internal components, the comfort components, that sort of thing, to improve that a little bit more. Maybe build a few models that edge more towards a car that can then be converted into a pickup.
Thank you again for your time. I know your time is valuable, especially this early in the book.
I appreciate it. You have really good questions because you really know the company and the car, so that's great. I appreciate that.